watching News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with us for News 3 Now at 5. We begin with an update on the man accused of killing a 24-year-old McFarland woman in 2024.
According to the Wisconsin court system, the sentencing date for James Barnes Morris has been moved to March 9th. Last week, Barnes Morris pled guilty to first-degree reckless homicide with a domestic abuse modifier for the death of Brooke Stratton.
His sentencing hearing was originally scheduled for April 3rd. According to a criminal complaint, Barnes Morris and Stratton were in a relationship that he made comments to friends alluding to her murder.
A fire in Edgerton last night left a beloved supper club in shambles and left many residents sorting through loss and disappointment.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks traveled to the area to talk to folks there about what this place meant to the community.
Just behind me is Lake House Inn, an Edgerton supper club which has served as a gathering place for decades for many families and friends in the area. I caught up with residents who live here on what this place means to them. Just before 8:30 p.m. Sunday evening, authorities were dispatched to Lake House Inn for reports of flames and smoke coming from the business.
Very, very historic building, wood, obviously tables, tablecloths, just a lot of combustibles. There are certain addresses that when you hear that address on the page, it invokes an emotion immediately that's probably greater than just a random address.
They were eventually able to knock down the fire just after 11 p.m. Lake House is a staple in Edgerton and the greater Rock County community, hosting countless dinners, parties, and celebrations.
Everyone would gather, share stories about not only the history of the building, but everybody became fast friends every time anybody was there visiting the place.
At the chance to catch up with one resident whose family has worked at Lake House for generations. How long had you worked there?
20 years.
They worked.
Yeah, my kids worked there all the way through probably middle school and high school. And my daughter is back there working now. Went upstairs and my daughter called me and said she heard there's fire at Lake House. I looked out my front window and seen the flames. I immediately got dressed and went up there, and it was fully engulfed in flames.
Fortunately, there were no injuries in relation to the fire. However, officials say the business is a total loss. Many in the area are still processing the loss of this supper club that has been the source of so many memories for them. In the meantime, Lakeside Fire Chief Pickering says an investigation into the cause of the fire is still ongoing. For now, reporting in Edgerton, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Jalen, thank you. Now to the forecast. There is the potential for some freezing rain tonight. So, Alex, who's got the best chance of seeing it?
Best chance again, lining up for areas north of the Dells. This would be Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. We have winter weather advisories in effect that start at 9 o'clock tonight, going till noon for Juneau and Adams counties until 9 a.m. for Marquette and Green Lake counties. Same areas that have been seeing slick conditions these past couple of mornings and overnight, and we're seeing the same repeat again. It feels kind of like a broken record here. Rain showers late, freezing rain north of the Dells, some patchy fog for all of southern Wisconsin, and wait to see the overnight low temperatures that we're expecting tonight. After temperatures right now, 34 in the Dells to 36 in Madison, 34 in Janesville. This is what we're expecting tonight. Getting down to right around freezing in Madison, freezing in Baraboo, freezing 32 in Camp Douglas, and that's that junction where we see the rain and that little bit of freezing rain causing that potential for that glaze of ice, especially for areas north of the Dells. Now, those showers will end on Tuesday. We got a warm Wednesday and Thursday on the way, but all attention then turns to a larger and stronger system that could bring accumulating snow to the Midwest. More on that weather system, and we'll use Future Track to track tonight's showers and freezing rain in a little bit.
All right, Alex, thank you. Well, if you're getting married this year at a Wisconsin wedding barn, bringing in your own alcohol could look different.
Our Ellie La Liberté shows us how newly enacted restrictions could impact these popular wedding venues.
Back in 2023, state lawmakers updated Wisconsin's alcohol laws. Now, that included new restrictions for wedding barns like this one. Those restrictions for wedding barns went into effect in the new year. But now there's an effort at the state level to undo some of those changes. As of January 1st, wedding barn venues either must get a liquor license or be limited to just 6 events per year and just 1 a month when guests bring their own alcohol. On top of that, the law limits alcohol options to just beer and wine. However, this bipartisan bill introduced last month would update those restrictions.
I've introduced a bill to change that part of the regulation to instead allow for 36 events, no limit on how many per month, and to allow for hard liquor so that our wedding barns, which are a really important way of bringing dollars into our rural areas, helping family farmers, and giving couples an affordable option to get married, can continue to operate.
Senator Spreitzer hopes to move forward with this new bill by March. However, it will likely face pushback and struggle to get a vote in the Senate. Reporting in the town of Cottage Grove, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
Ellie, thank you. Now, to get this legislation through, Spreitzer also told us he wouldn't rule out offering this legislation as an amendment to another bill. That could generate a bipartisan vote, even if leadership isn't willing to schedule the bill for a vote itself.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is ending his bid for a third term in office. The announcement comes as he faces intense scrutiny over his handling of a widening alleged fraud scandal in his state. Multiple law enforcement officials say the Trump administration has begun to deploy thousands of federal agents to the Twin Cities area to investigate the alleged scheme.
We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington. These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem, and every intention of trying to profit off of it.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is possibly considering a bid for governor in the wake of Walz's decision. And Governor Tony Evers released a statement after Walz made his decision, saying in part, quote, "Kathy and I are thinking of Tim and Gwen and the kids today, as we know how important family is when making these kinds of decisions. We're grateful to call them friends. I look forward to working with Tim in the days and months ahead as we continue getting good things done for the people of our states."
A new housing service aims to solve a critical problem for healthcare workers in Madison.
Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn is sharing the benefits.
Reliable Residence connects people with fully furnished monthly rentals, and the program is aimed at helping medical professionals specifically, but the founder confirms this is a resource for anyone in need. The company launched in July, partnering with property owners and now listing more than 125 units across the Madison area. Professionals who need housing for 30 days or longer can visit reliableresidence.com for an easier search. Founder Christina Henderson says the service addresses a real need for healthcare workers who face long hours and high stress.
You don't have to worry about going out and buying a piece of furniture. You don't have to worry about your heat bill or parking or, all these other things that can really put a burden on someone. Housing is extremely important to feel secure and rooted in that community. And if we don't provide that to healthcare professionals, they will not come serve our community.
Reliable Residence keeps costs down by reducing service fees and working with those property owners on pricing. And again, you don't have to sign for a year. These are 30+ days or monthly agreements. Now, I did compare Reliable Residence's prices to other listings, and you can see a couple hundreds of dollars of difference depending on location. A fully furnished 2-bedroom for rent in Verona costs between $2,400 and $2,700 a month. But with Reliable Residence, you can find the same type of home in the same location for just $2,250. And with Reliable Residence, the price you see is your monthly fee with all of your utilities included, including Wi-Fi and a parking spot and reduced service fees. The company is now expanding to Marshfield, La Crosse, and Janesville, as well as Gainesville, Georgia. And unlike most places with Reliable Residence, there's no fee to submit applications. And again, anyone can utilize this resource. For more information, visit the story on channel3000.com.
Thank you, Michelle Renee. And you can follow her consumer reports during the week or wake up bright and early with her on Saturday and Sundays anchoring weekday mornings.
Gas prices are expected to go down to kick off this new year. Gas Buddy predicting the average price of a gallon of regular will go to $2.97. That would be the first year below $3 since back in 2020, and it would mark 4 straight years now of falling prices. Gas Buddy's making the prediction despite ongoing uncertainty in oil-rich Venezuela. Shellfish farmers are sounding the alarm over for ocean acidification. That's when CO2 emissions are absorbed into the water, changing the ocean's pH chemistry and its ecosystem. 15 years ago, ocean acidification nearly wiped out West Coast oyster farming. Now, to survive, shellfish farmers were forced to mitigate, investing in research, water treatment systems, and programs to breed more resilient oysters.
We didn't fix the problem. Ocean acidification is still there. It's getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse as long as we don't wean ourselves off of fossil fuels.
The West Coast is one of the hardest hit areas in the world by ocean acidification. Shellfish farmers say significant changes to oyster prices and supply are still years away, but they expect the industry to undergo noticeable changes within a generation.
Well, next at 5, Alex will tell us if we can still expect 40-degree weather this week.
And changes are being made to the childhood vaccine schedule. What recommendations are being removed by the CDC? And later at 5, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro appears in court in New York. What defense he may use to have his case thrown out. And a strong start to the week on Wall Street. The Dow soaring some 595 points. The Nasdaq adds 160. S&P jumps 43.5. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The CDC announced it is updating its childhood immunization schedule to recommend fewer vaccines.
And the changes come despite the opposition of the American Academy of Pediatrics. Now, under these new guidelines, the CDC will continue to recommend vaccines for 10 diseases, and that includes measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. Immunizations for certain diseases such as flu and rotavirus will now fall under shared decision-making between parents and healthcare providers.
One of the concerns I have here is that when they say some of these vaccines would be more strongly recommended for an infant or child who's high risk, very often we don't even realize someone is high risk until they develop a severe infection that can lead to hospitalization and death.
Health and Human Services officials say insurance providers will continue to cover the cost of these vaccines no matter which category they're in.
Now to the weather. It was a cloudy but warm day across southern Wisconsin. Boy, it was nice. All the paths are clear. You can take a walk, Alex, and it's going to get warmer from here. Is that right?
Boosting the temperatures up to 40 by the time we get to Wednesday, 43 on Thursday. And then the temperatures will take a tumble as we head towards the upcoming weekend. And there's another weather system on the horizon as we head towards the upcoming weekend with temperatures cold enough, for snow. More on that in just a moment here. 3 things you need to get out of the forecast. A wintry mix is expected tonight with a little bit of freezing rain, especially for areas north of the Dells. Otherwise, patchy fog and showers for us all. Showers end on Tuesday, and then as we head towards later in the week, as I mentioned, that larger weather system, stronger weather system is on the horizon. Let's track weather system number 1 here. Watch the showers become real widespread as we head into the overnight hours. So around midnight going through about 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Rain from the Dells to Madison to Janesville. But you see the pinks and a little bit of blue up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. There they stand the best chance of seeing the possibility of that little bit of freezing rain mixing in. Can't rule out a shower or two as we move throughout the rest of the day on Tuesday, but eventually those showers will clear on up. If they do hang on a little bit longer, though, our temperatures may be just a tad cooler than what we're currently forecasting. Future track ice doesn't look overly impressive, but just a little bit of that glaze. Look up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, Green Lake counties, just a little bit of blue, and that's future track trying to pick up on some of that ice north of the Dells. So overnight going into Tuesday, take it easy, especially if you're heading north up towards the Dells, up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. A couple of slick spots, certainly not out of the question. We can't rule out a slick spot as far south as Madison and the I-94 corridor, east over towards Cambridge and Milwaukee, but the better chance for the more adverse slick conditions will be well to the north, where we do have winter weather advisories for Juneau and Adams counties starting at 9, going till noon tomorrow, and starting at 9 p.m. for Marquette and Green Lake counties, and going till 9 a.m. as we go into Tuesday. Right now, temperatures, we're sitting at 34 in Camp Douglas, 34 in the Dells, 36 here in Madison, 34 in Janesville. look at the temperatures that we're forecasting for overnight lows. Right on that junction of 32, 33 degrees. That's that point where if you slip just to 32 or 31, you get a little bit of those slick spots developing. So areas, again, Madison north, especially from the Dells north up towards our friends up in central Wisconsin, have a better chance of seeing that little bit of that light icing. And then temperatures tomorrow will be in the mid to upper 30s to right around 40 degrees, but we will struggle to get to 40 if we keep the rain shower activity around just a little bit longer. Now, going out a little bit further here, as we look at the 10-day, another weather system Thursday going on into Friday brings a good chance for rain mixing with a little bit of wet snow as we go into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. And then a second piece of this weather system we're keeping an eye out for as we go towards Saturday. After that wet snow, rain mix Friday night, another piece of energy, another system may move into the Midwest, bringing accumulating snow to parts of southern Wisconsin and parts of the upper Midwest. But weather models are flip-flopping right now, the track and also with the amounts. But there is a distinct possibility we could be looking at alert day conditions in southern Wisconsin this upcoming weekend. So first to let you know. Now the snow is melting out there right now, but I still wanted to show this pretty picture from Middleton sent to us by Sheila. Just scan the QR code right now. If you're sitting at home, get your phone out, and that will link you right up to the First Warn Weather Team's portal of all of our weather photos, and then you can submit your photos so I can show them on air, just like Sheila's.
All right, Alex, thank you. The president of the Milwaukee Bucks is stepping down from his role. Peter Feigin joined the Bucks in 2014, played a pivotal role in the team's rebrand and record-setting performance, highlighted by the 2021 NBA title. Haslam Sports Group Chief of Strategy and Development Josh Glessing will take over Feigin's duties. He previously worked with Bucks ownership in the financing of Fiserv Forum. Well, the Packers and Bears both fresh off losses yesterday to end the regular season.
Both teams had a different strategy before the playoffs. News 3 Now's senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has the story.
Packers coach Matt LaFleur said after their 16-3 loss to the Minnesota Vikings here in Minneapolis that he had done the right thing in his mind. He didn't play any of his most important players. A few had to play a few snaps. But beyond that, he wanted to make sure his team was as healthy as it could be going into the playoffs. And that was accomplished. They will face the Chicago Bears on Saturday night at Soldier Field, feeling good about their health, if not their momentum, having lost 4 in a row. The Bears, on the other hand, had something to play for on Sunday, the number 2 seed in the NFC. They ended up getting it anyway because the Washington Commanders beat the Philadelphia Eagles. But the Bears lost, playing their guys against the Detroit Lions team that had already been eliminated from playoff contention. Ben Johnson saying after the game that he thought he did the right thing. Also, and you can be the judge of this, perhaps taking a shot at Matt LaFleur.
Everyone's disappointed. I appreciate, like I said, their effort. Some teams, they rest their starters. We don't. We play football, and, we felt like it was really important that we were playing our best ball here today, and we didn't get that job done. And so we're quickly turning that page, and now we got a home game coming on up, and there's a way to win this next game, and that's what we're going to be solely focused on.
None of that talk matters, of course. What matters is who wins on Saturday night at Soldier Field. We'll have full coverage leading into the game and of the game itself from Chicago on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Minneapolis, but headed home to Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. And we'll have live team coverage from Chicago on Saturday. The Packers are also inviting fans to be part of the playoff excitement. Throughout the week, the organization is offering a series of fan-focused activities, giveaways, and sweepstakes designed to rally support for the Pack. Events include the Letters to Lambeau program. There will be merchandise and ticket contests, daily prize opportunities, and some special Packer Pro Shop promotions. Fans can also take part in Green and Gold Friday. And for those traveling to Chicago, there will be a free Packers Everywhere pep rally featuring appearances by some alumni, some prizes and entertainment as the countdown to kickoff continues. I'm already stressed. I'm getting stressed already. It's very stressful.
Still to come at 5, the U.S. defending its raid on Venezuela's president. This as questions arise over who's in control of the country. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife made their first court appearance today in New York.
This comes after their dramatic capture over the weekend by U.S. forces. The pair pled not guilty to 4 federal charges, including conspiracy to import cocaine and machine guns and conspiracy to commit narco-terrorism. Legal experts say Maduro could try one key argument to get the case thrown out.
Well, Maduro's defense is certainly going to argue that he gets absolute immunity as a head of state.
Maduro and his wife agreed to remain in custody, but Maduro's attorney hinted at a future bail application. The couple are being held at the Brooklyn Detention Center. Their next court date will be March 17th.
And the Trump administration is defending its decision to carry out the raid in Venezuela to capture President Maduro. Venezuela's UN ambassador accused the U.S. of violating international law. The U.S. ambassador to the UN defended it as a necessary law enforcement operation. Venezuela's acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in today and has offered to work with the Trump administration.
Dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial. What does that mean? It means we're in charge.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio spoke with his Danish counterpart today after President Trump's comments Sunday night about the U.S. needing the Danish territory of Greenland. Alex returns next. Final check of your First Warn forecast. Stay with us.
Tonight, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz drops his re-election bid amid a child care fraud scandal in his state. We're going to look at the ripple effect it's all having. And major changes to your child's recommended vaccine schedule. What you need to know tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And then coming up at 6, 2026 could be the year for home buyers. What you should be doing right now to make competitive offers during the upcoming spring market. That's coming up tonight at 6.
Alex is here with another final check of the forecast.
Yeah, let's take a look at future track. We have some rain showers that are going to build in tonight, but look at the little bit of pink up there towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties. That's where they have winter weather advisories in effect for overnight for a little glaze of ice. Can't rule out a slick spot or two even as far south here as Madison. Once we get rid of this weather system, we got a bigger weather system, bigger fish to fry as we head towards the end of the week. We're keeping an eye on that weather system Friday going on into Saturday. That could bring a mix of rain and wet snow, changing over to all snow possibly on Saturday with some accumulation. We can't rule that out. We're keeping a close eye on that weather system. It could be a period of alert day conditions if that track and amounts are just right.
We know you'll watch it closely, Alex. Thank you. And thanks for watching tonight at 5, everybody.
Coming up next, the CBS Evening News. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. And as always, you can find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. We'll see you in a half hour.